Yeah, you can start right away.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing fine and great tonight. We're here finally at the first Artistry Singing Group Masterclass of Triple Threat Academy 2022. My name is Fonita Amran. You can call me Ipong. I am the project manager of the JPAC Academy and the US Embassy Intensive Workshop Triple Threat Academy. It's so good to see you all here, all 200 people, I guess, all 200 people of you. So, okay, before we do anything, so let me start by telling you a little bit about myself and also JPAC. I am a JPAC member since 2014. First, I joined as a community member, and then I was involved in several productions. I think 7 JPAC musical productions as actor, stage manager, eager community members, ticketing, producers, and lastly with JPAC as a director. I have directed and co-produced 4 productions with JPAC, 1 dramatic stage play, Blackbird, as part of the 16 Days Activism Against Gender-Based Violence, and then 3 musicals, West Side Story, Stephen Sondheim's company musical comedy, and then the last 5 years in 2021. What can I say about JPAC? I'm a big fan of JPAC. This is a community that I found very inclusive, supportive, and kind, very embracing. While we are so diverse, we are all connected with our single love for musical theater and performing arts. JPAC is a place for learning for me. Everything I did in performing arts so far, I learned it together with JPAC. And I think JPAC mission to empower a young generation through performing arts and providing an inclusive and safe environment to learn is very much in line with what I have in mind, with my passion as well. And by doing that, JPAC also gives me the freedom to create and be as imaginative as I can be. So when we are approached by the US Embassy for the Triple Threat Academy back in 2021, and then we saw how comprehensive, useful, and thoughtful the programs are, we immediately, without hesitation, we said yes right away. And also on this occasion, because of that, I'd like to give a shout out and our utmost gratitude to the US Embassy and the Arts Envoy initiative, also to the Wonder Woman of Arts, who is your facilitator tonight, Carla Canales, who initiated the whole thing, you guys. She did this. We're very happy and honored that you trust us to run this really, really wonderful program. Thank you, Carla. And for you guys, our wonderful participants, this is, what can I say? This is a one-of-a-kind program. We are very privileged to be here. So make use of it. Learn as much as you can. Ask as many questions as you want. You are in a safe environment, and know that you are limitless. There's nothing you cannot do, okay? So let's have fun. And without further ado, I'll turn the Zoom over to Carla Canales. Please, Carla.
Well, thank you so much, Ipong. I think it's really my honor, and what a great way to start with those words of encouragement and support for everybody. Everyone, I'm Carla Canales. I hope that you will see me first and foremost as your friend and your cheerleader. I'm here to really help in any way that I can. I've already been delighted to meet some of you on social media and emails. And I guess that's the first thing I will say is I'm available to you 24/7. So if you have a question, if you have a doubt or something that you want to just express, please let me know. I'm going to put my email here in the chat. And you can also reach me on Instagram at Carla Canales Music. Okay. Before we start, I also just want to say what a incredible dream it is for me to be here after months of, having this idea and making it happen with the dream team that is JPAC. It's been incredible. I honestly wish that I could live in Jakarta just to be near to these people who are so incredible at organizing and facilitating, and a pleasure to work with. So thank you so much. I also want to thank the US Embassy and the Arts Envoy program. And guys, there are a lot of people behind the scenes that have worked for months to make this possible. So what you're seeing today is the result of big collaboration and a lot of, I think, love and goodwill to get this project going. So thank you to everyone who's made it possible. And I think without further ado, I'm going to jump in. What I'd like to do is offer you a few words of how the structure will go. Generally speaking, we will have these sessions that are kind of our group sessions. And in those sessions, I will be facilitating overall technical exercises. And the goal of this is for everybody to come away with a basic understanding of vocal technique. And that vocal technique should be able to help you to sing better, no matter what style it is that you want to sing. Musical theater, pop music, more classical repertoire. So all of these exercises are kind of like what I would call the basics. And then from there, as we progress and advance in the weeks ahead, we will go into some more specific, more detailed things like developing vibrato or strengthening your chest voice, some of the things that might be a little bit more specific. But for the next few weeks, we'll really just work on some key basics. And I always want to encourage you to use the chat because we're not in the same room. This is really, really important for me. It's just like, put in the chat, hey, I'm so-and-so, I want to work on this, or whatever you want to mention in the chat. It's a way for me also to get to know you. Lastly, I will also say, if at any point you have a question about the material we're going over, just raise your hand. I can see here, there's the icons, and I'm sure if I don't see it, maybe one of my colleagues from JPAC can just let me know, hey, there's a hand up. So if something doesn't make sense to you, like, pretend that we're actually in person. That's the whole point of this virtual session, is like, let's make it as non-virtual, as live as possible. Okay, well, let's get started. Oh, last thing too, just so you know, we will take a short break halfway through the session. So if you need to go to the bathroom or get a glass of water, or anything you need to do, that's a good time to do it. But if you need to also go, it's fine. Just get up and go and come back, no problems. Before, I guess, we get started, we, in the very first session on Wednesday, covered this idea of a SWOT analysis, the SWOT, S-W-O-T. Who can tell me what that means? Can someone raise their hand and just let me know, what did I mean by SWOT? Yes, hi. Baresi, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah, just call me Baras. Baras is fine.
Baras, hi. So tell everybody, what does SWOT mean?
SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I guess it's a way to assess a certain situation.
It absolutely is. And actually, I think it might even come from the military background of assessing a situation. But did you find this tool helpful for you in sort of a self-assessment of what are your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats as a performer?
I think so. I think especially when you're starting anything out and you don't really know where to start, it's really helpful to start with SWOT, because then you would at least know what you need to work on. Maybe it's obvious, but then once you break them down into very specific parts, right? You will see the overall, the big picture, and then you can actively choose which part you would like to work on first, I would say, and which you have to watch out for also.
Right, and this is a way of evaluating, right? So I'm so glad that you brought that up. Thank you. I would love to hear from anybody who might feel that they would like to share something about their SWOT. First of all, how many of you did the SWOT? Just raise your hand if you completed the exercise. Okay, good. For those of you who didn't, it is a key point, and I'm going to come back to this consistently throughout. Like I'll be referring to the SWOT, so you really want to do the SWOT. It shouldn't take you more than like 2 or 3, maybe 5 minutes to complete that exercise. So thank you for raising your hands. You can put those down now. Would anybody like to share their SWOT with me? Just to sort of bounce ideas. Again, this is a very safe space. I hope that you'll feel good. Let's hear from Karen, and then we'll hear from Jane.
Hi,
Karen.
Hello. For me, I think my strength is involving emotion in the execution of singing. For weaknesses, I think sometimes looking at my singing from another person's perspective, like, is it good? Is it objectively correct? Did I reach the note? And stuff like that. For me, my obstacles, I think, are performing in front of an audience, and more of like, what can I do to make it better? What can I do to improve my voice, improve my range, and having more experiences in singing.
So this is great because you're already gaining an awareness really of where you are, and that objective awareness is really important. I want to touch on this, Karen, because I think you said something really smart, and that is when we're doing the SWOT analysis, and this is the sort of one of the key lessons today, is to be able to look at yourself as a business rather than as the way that, you know, everything makes you feel. In other words, you need both, but you really do have to be able to extract yourself from the emotion of like, oh, I wish I had gotten that job, or, oh, you know, I really want, like, be able to look at yourself very pragmatically as a business and say, I do these things really well, and these are the things I need to work on. So when we meet again next week, I'm going to go through something pretty in depth, in detail. I'm going to put it in the chat, right? Or I don't know that I can put it in the chat, but you will be able to see. We're going to do a pretty in-depth evaluation. I'll just share this with you all for one quick moment. Sorry. And I'm sorry it's not very clear, but you might be able to see here all of these specifics on being able to evaluate your artistic skills, your dramatic skills, and so on and so forth. So this is why it starts with a SWOT. And I just want to get you thinking about what's coming ahead, is that I will be asking you to go very, very specific on certain points. Jane, let's hear from you.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. I keep saying good morning because it's morning for me.
It's evening for us. Okay. So I made the SWOT that you asked for. And for my strength, I would say that I'm pretty good at self-learning because singing wise, I guess I'm like a little bit above average, and most of the things that I've learned are self-taught. And also, I guess my biggest strength would be that I actually love the stage. I have like zero stage fright. I love this stage. It just like gives an opportunity to be somebody else, you know. And for my weakness, I would probably say that I don't really excel in a single one, since I've never actually like asked for professional help. And also I don't practice a lot because let's just say my family either expects perfection or nothing. So I always only practice when I'm alone at home. And yeah, I guess that for opportunity, I would say I actually already work in the industry. So I have like connections. If I wanted to like start a singing or acting career, I could just say the word, except I'm a little shy. That would be my threat. My threat would be busy schedule and limited resources. Yeah. This
is excellent. I mean, that is an amazing, amazing SWOT. I think for everybody watching, I'm very impressed with like the amount of detail and the amount of self-awareness that you've put into this. How many of you, just out of curiosity, feel that your family or your parents or like your home life is a bit of an obstacle when it comes to like practicing or pursuing this? Yeah, I know for me, it was a big obstacle when I was growing up. Yeah, so that's something that I really want to talk about, because it can be very difficult to pursue this, and especially to find the way to practice. Your neighbors, yes, my neighbors too. It's definitely something that can be challenging. I'll share with you personally that my family they're wonderful, and I'm very close to my parents now, but when I was a teenager and in my 20s, they were not supportive of my becoming a singer at all, to the point where we fought constantly, and it was very, very difficult. So I understand that struggle, and being able to find the people that can support you through that. Maybe it's friends, maybe it's a teacher, but we definitely all need some support. And ultimately, I really hope this group can be supportive of each other also. So thank you for sharing all of this with me. The first few minutes of every class, I'm going to want to just have a conversation, because as much as I have information I want to share with you, I also want to learn from you and understand, you know, where are you coming from? What are your goals? What are your backgrounds? So I love seeing this in the chat. Again, I actually save the chat and I read through it so that I can understand a little bit more about you. So please keep it going in the chat. So I'm going to start by saying that today we're not going to do any big singing. Like, I think this is going to be a gradual process for us to get to know each other. Singing can be very intimidating for some. I know for me, it's a little bit like bearing my soul, and I'm nervous. Will you like my singing? Will it sound good on the Zoom? All of these kinds of things. So I don't know, maybe you guys feel that way too. But the purpose of the exercises today and for the next few days, at least in our group session, is going to be, as I said, technique. And the first point, well, let me ask you, does anybody remember the 5 points of technique that we talked about in the first session? There were 5. Yeah, great. Let's see, Joshua, do you remember those 5 points?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, well, give us maybe, do you remember the first one?
Yeah, it's breathing.
Yeah.
And then vocal cords, and then our articulation, and registers, and the last one is projection.
Yeah, you got it. That was great. Great job. Great job. So just to go over that again, the first one is breathing. And I would say even before the first one, the sort of pre one is posture. We're going to talk a lot about posture. Then breathing is number 1. Then sort of what I will come to call the onset, or the beginning of sound, the vocal cords here. And then we have the articulators, the tongue, the mouth, as we talked about, which form the vowels, and the consonants, they form our words. Then we talked about the resonance, right? The chest resonance, like chest voice, or the head resonance. And then finally, we talked about projection, number 5. How do you carry that sound, make it louder, have a good control over it, and so forth? Yeah. Any questions about those 5? Because I'm going to definitely talk about those a lot. Yeah, we're good. Cool. Thank you, Tria, for putting them in the chat. That's great. All right. Well, let's start before even the breathing, right? I want to start with the posture. So it's very difficult to do this over Zoom, but the basic things, and I'm going to assume we're all sitting down. You're certainly welcome to stand, but just very basic things, right? You don't want to slouch. The minute that you bring your chest in and you have kind of a concave here with your shoulders, then your whole instrument is slouching over. So think of it like, you know, you wouldn't bend a violin, or you wouldn't bend a piano. This is your instrument. You want to make sure that everything is kind of up and even. I want to invite you to take your hands and put them on your rib cage. Yeah. Now, before we even start into the breathing exercises, take what I would call a surprise breath, like, yeah. So it's kind of like somebody was surprising you. You can even make it auditory with the sound. And you should feel your ribs do a little bit of this movement. Yeah. Can everybody feel a slight expansion? It's just it's a little tick. It doesn't have to be like a big movement, and it's a quick breath. But that's the idea. So you want to make sure that your ribs are open in that way so they can take the breath. If you're slouching, you won't feel the same thing, right? So it's that thing of posture. And as you carry that posture here, you also want to make sure that your neck should be nice and loose. We're going to do some stretching in a moment. Your ears should be above your shoulders. So not far back, not forward. We all tend on the Zoom to go forward. So be careful of that. And the same then with your chin. Chin shouldn't be down too much, and it also shouldn't be up too much. So my teachers would tell me, think about your ear being above your shoulder. Your shoulder should be lined up with your ribs, and that should be lined up with like your pelvis more or less. Now, a really good way to practice this, and forgive me guys, I'm also like learning as we go, but I'm going to take my virtual background off. Surprise, this is my house. So a great way to practice this is to go against a wall, which I will try to demonstrate here on the Zoom for you. And this is something that you can do after our session. My handy little door, but you would want to do something like this so that your knees are bent. Yeah, but do you see how this all lines up here, right? This is a really good place. Now watch in your back. You shouldn't curve, your butt shouldn't stick out. It really should be like touching up against here. And that's why you want to bend your knees. You can even bend your knees more if you need to. Your head touching in the back. So this is just like a really basic, good way. Everyone has a wall somewhere that they can find a posture. And once we start to do singing, you can always go to the wall and line yourself up. Yeah, it's like a wall seat. Exactly. Some people prefer the position lying down, right? So I would have to really adjust my camera, but you can imagine if I'm lying down and I put my feet up, right? Like same thing, kind of with this would be up and all the way down. I find it more difficult to sing from that position, but you can try both. I will always give you a lot of options to try. I think the wall one is a really great way to start. Right? So actually, then that's just like, I should have said beforehand, forgive me, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's one really, really key thing to this whole class of triple threat. And that is each of you, there's only one thing I really ask. You should have a notebook, a little book. It can be very inexpensive. It doesn't, have to cost money or anything, but inside that book, I want you to write down all of the exercises. You can even put like, today is March 25th. This is what we did. I will show you on their next session, my book. I have my little book, which I started in 1997, probably before some of you were born. And I have every single exercise from every single teacher I ever worked with in that book. So for me, it's like a doctor's book. And when I work with you individually and we go through exercises, I'll be able to go, oh, you're dealing with this. So let me look in the book. I remember there's this exercise. It's like a diagnosing, and here's your medicine. Here's your solution. Always use the book, because I cannot expect myself to remember everything from 25 years of singing. That would be impossible. But I can expect myself to write it in the book, and then I have it and it's preserved. So please, actually, I really, that is the one big request is in the book. You should already have your SWOT analysis in there and start to put these exercises. Okay. So let's all, I guess, if you're all in a place where we can stand to do some stretching, let's start by doing some stretching. Yeah. And now you've seen my messy house. All right. So let's just try this. I want you to start today. First, we're going to try to start to feel this space in the ribs of that expansion I was talking about. So just before we even start, take your arms and I want you to go to the side and feel here. You should really feel an expansion. You might even want to bring your arm back and forward so that you can really feel these ribs expand there. Yeah, good. Now let's try the other side. Excellent. And while you're here, take a breath and try to feel, like actually put your hand there and feel how this is stretching a little bit. Yeah. Good, good. Now, when we come down, I want you to roll your shoulders back 10 times. Good. Should just start to get everything kind of warmed up. And now roll your shoulders forward 10 times. Excellent. Now, very gently, very, very gently, we're going to put our neck down and go in circles. I want you to do this really gently and be aware, is it harder to go to one side or to the other side? Try the other side. Yeah, for me, one side is definitely harder. All right, good. Now, you guys, we can sit down to do the next ones if you want. I just am sitting so that you can see me more clearly. You can stay standing if you prefer. But we're definitely going to start by doing a lot of facial articulator exercises. Now, I want you to start by doing something really kind of weird. This is like, it's like a lion and a mouse. So it's going to be like, this is a little one like this. Q, X, Q, X, Q, X, Q, X. And the idea is just to stretch these muscles. I think you all got that. Now, exercise number 2, chewing. I want you to pretend like you have a big chewing gum. Try even doing a little bit of humming. Good, very, very good. I'm seeing some good things. Bonus exercise. Who likes a bonus one? Yeah, bonus. This is hard. See if you can flare your nostrils. So this is the nostrils. Let me see if I can do it on my camera. Like a rabbit, right? Like a bunny rabbit. You can put your fingers here and just feel those muscles and try to move those muscles. It's the sensation if you were to smell a flower and you take a big breath, kind of that same feeling, like a big breath through your nose, and then try to isolate it. Some of you are doing it very well. Good. Okay. Any questions so far? Does this all seem absolutely crazy? I know but it's fun. We're getting an awareness. We're getting an awareness for these muscles. Your cat, yes, my dog also gives me some strange looks. Let's see. Geta, you have a question?
Yes. Is it necessary to also have like full on body exercise, like with the legs and everything? Is it also necessary?
We're going to do some more of those. Yes, especially when you're singing, because one thing, and I didn't want to go too much into this today, but you're right to bring it up. The one thing we want to avoid is to be stiff, right? So when I did the wall exercise, like the reason I'm having you bend your knees is then you're not locking your knees. Once we get to singing, it's very dangerous if you lock the knees, because then like you lose the balance, right? So you always want to make sure that your knees, are nice and bent. And when we start to sing, I'm going to have a lot of you just practice like in a bouncing, because when you're bouncing, then you automatically are more loose. So sometimes when you're practicing your songs, you can also try this bouncing exercise because it will keep your knees buoyant. Another good tip for that is to do one foot in front of the other. Like, you never want to stand with the feet together like this. You always want to have kind of one foot in front of the other, like, or the other way. That also will avoid having your knees locked. Good question, really good question. Cool, thank you. And our friend Barisi, I know you told me your nickname. I forgot it.
That's okay. It's Baras.
Baras, thank you.
Yeah. So all of these is just for awareness.
Right now, all of it.
Aware.
Today, we're just going to explore. Like, I really want you guys to get a feeling for me. I get a feeling for you. But as we move forward, my goal is to give you a very succinct 15-minute warm-up that you do every day when you're, about to perform or rehearse. To this day, I have my warm-ups, right?
Okay.
And my routine is like the same. It's, no matter what. So right now we're doing I'm trying to give you a lot of tools in the toolbox, and we're going to explore different things, but then we're going to get into some very specific ones. Yeah.
Okay. So these tools are for us to be aware of the muscles that will be relevant to singing.
Exactly.
It's not to practice those muscles, right?
No, not yet. But these are just like awareness, stretching, getting kind of loose and ready to sing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often do you do these though?
How often? I would say it's always good before you sing to do like a little bit of stretching.
And this is stretching.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So look, I think you're helping me to help you. So here's where I was going to go with this. And I know we're going to take a break in about 30 minutes. So generally speaking, when I start to warm up, and this is what I want to leave you with today, my first thing to do is to do that like chewing exercise. Let's call it the chewing exercise. Like, and what that does is it warms up my tongue. I'm moving my tongue inside, like if I had like peanut butter inside of my mouth, and I'm also moving this, and I'm also moving my nostrils, and I'm squinching everything. And I'm making a little bit of sound. And all it is to get like a little bit of things moving in my resonators. Right? So that's like always for me a basic starting thing. Then generally speaking, this is where I go next. I like to do something called the lip trills. How many of you know lip trills? Yeah, probably. I think a lot of you know. Okay, cool. So for those of you who don't know lip trills, which is totally fine, a lip trill sounds like this. So let's break that down. You can try, if you've never done it, by putting your fingers right here. And you don't even have to make like the sound, just go. Right? No sound, just the air. And what you're doing is you're moving the air through the lips, and the lips have to be completely relaxed to make this. So now I want us to start as a breathing exercise to make that lip trill, no sound yet, but to make it long. So let's play a little game. Let's have a little competition. Let's see who can do it longest, right? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Good. How many of you made it that long? It was hard, right? Yeah, good job. Good job. Let's do it one more time. You guys can keep trying. Again, no sound. You're just getting the air going. Yeah. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Good, 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 good. That's excellent. So I'm seeing some questions. Please use the chat for questions. Why the nose flare? The nose flare is going to be something that we will touch on in a few weeks. The nose flare actually helps you to lift your soft palate. When you flare your nose, automatically your palate is lifted and it gives you more space in your mouth to create the sound. So there's a connection here. Right now, you don't have to worry about it. It was just an exercise to have fun today. I run out of breath real fast. We all do. And this is why I'm going to give you breathing exercises today for you to increase the breath. So don't worry, that's what we're here for. What is the importance of keeping the knees buoyant? Keeping the knees buoyant is a way for you not to lock your body. When you lock your body, then you tense your body in a way that is not conducive to good sound. You want to keep your body flexible. Remember that you're using muscles and the muscles are flexible. And when you're locked, you're more likely to have constrained, a sort of tension in your body, and you don't want that to come in the sound. My head tends to tilt to the side a bit sometimes in singing. Is there an exercise to fix that? Awareness. So the main thing I would recommend there is practice in front of a mirror. Always, all of you should do some practicing in front of a mirror. It's very hard to look at ourselves for that long, but if you see that your head is going to the side, then you want to just actually start to try to like be aware of not bringing it to that side. So practice in front of the mirror and then move away from the mirror. And then go back to the mirror. Is it going to the side? Okay. So mostly singing, guys, is a lot about teaching yourselves. I'm here to be your guide, but you have to do the work in front of the mirror. And it's that way that we will work together, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Trick for having long breath. Yes. Yes. So now we're going to get into those muscles. But before we do talk about how to elongate the breath, I want to give you a second exercise. We've done number 1 is lip trill, right? And we're not even worrying about tone right now. We'll get to tone. In other words, lip trill without tone sounds like this. Lip trill with tone would be something like, okay? So we did the lip trill. Why do I feel like throwing up when I do lip trill? That's a good question. Maybe it's just a new exercise. Try to really isolate it to the lip trills. And yes, the lip trill does help you practice your breath. It can help for other things too, but for purposes of today, it's for breath. But number 2 exercise is rolled R. So for some people, lip trill is really, really hard. So I want you to try this number 2 way. It's that's with pitch. Let's try it with pitch first. All it means is that you're flipping your R. Your lips are not doing the trill. The tongue is doing the trill. I can't really show you my tongue, otherwise it'll stop. But yeah. I see a question. Karen, please.
Actually, I have a list and I can't roll my R.
It's totally okay. Then in that case, do the lip trills. Totally fine. Everybody, I apologize. I need 2 seconds to let my dog go with the dog walker. So practice lip trills or rolled R's. 30 seconds. Thanks for your patience, everybody. All right, so it's very normal that somebody is better at lip trills or better at rolled R's. I could not roll my R's for a very, very long time. But I want to give you some exercises in case you would like to learn. So you can practice saying this phrase. Pot of tea, pot of tea, pot of tea, pot of tea, and then faster. Pot of tea, 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 pot of tea. That was what helped me. It sounds very strange, but try that if you're having a hard time rolling your R's. Now, for purposes of this exercise number 2, rolled R's, if you cannot do rolled R's today, just practice them, and you can do lip trills today. But for those of you who can roll your R's, try rolling the R without pitch. That would be like, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's the same as the lip trill, but without the pitch. So let's do that now and see who can do it for the longest. Yeah, it's like purring. It's exactly like purring. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. It's hard. It's really hard. Yeah. I'm still kind of waking up too. Shall we try it one more time? Let's try it one more time. The same thing. Ready? Breathe. Okay, just a quick show of hands. How many of you find the lip trill easier? Raise your hand. If you prefer lip trill. Interesting. Interesting. Cool. How many of you now prefer the rolled R? Is there anyone who prefers the rolled R? Interesting. Wow. Okay. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to give you one more exercise because you seem very advanced. I wasn't sure if anyone would be able to do it. And just let me check in here. Is my throat supposed to kind of tense when rolling R? A little bit, but not a lot. I mean, it does take some muscles, and we're going to speak about this more later. Your tongue is actually attached all the way to your larynx, right? And the tongue is a muscle. So that's why you can train this muscle to do the rolled R. Even if it's something you cannot do, it is a muscle just like any other muscle in your body that you train to do things. But that tongue goes all the way and is connected to your larynx. So there is a little bit of tension there, but it shouldn't be extreme, right? So just, you should have some awareness. Let's try one more time and put your hands on your larynx here and just do for me. I don't feel a lot of tension. I feel a little bit of tension. Yeah. So, and if it is new for you, you should, it will get easier with time. Which one do I prefer? Now, I always found lip trills much easier than rolled R's, but because of that, I practice rolled R's more because I wanted to get my rolled R's to the same level. These are 2 different exercises. Lip trills are, your lips have to be relaxed, right? Now, rolled R, your tongue has to be relaxed. And in order to sing with control, you need to be able to control both your lips and your tongue. So that is why both exercises are really important. Now, I'm going to give you guys a final challenge. I wasn't going to do this today because this is really hard. I'm just going to tell you in advance, this is really hard. So if you don't get it today, we will keep practicing. I want you to try to do both lip trill and rolled R at the same time. I love Mario's face. It's really hard. Okay, here we go. I'll show you first if I can even do it. Some days it doesn't work. I'll do it without pitch. Okay, now let's try it. You're gonna put your tongue out, kind of slightly biting it, not really biting, but you put your lips around the tongue and then you just let the air come. Just try that. It's really silly, isn't it? Yeah, you guys are doing great. If it's hard for you, try putting your fingers here. It is kind of like making the fart noise. I know it's very bad. But I want to also ask you, can you try it with pitch? Maybe it'll be easier. Sometimes it's easier. You guys are doing great. It's really hard. It's really hard. Why is it so hard? Well, because you have to be able to isolate your tongue and your lips at the same time. And it's even harder with pitch. Yeah. Okay. Are you guys enjoying the class so far, or is this really crazy stuff? I told you it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's pretty crazy stuff. Technique is hard, but it can also be really fun. And I hope that we can have fun doing it together. So I want to go back now to just the lip trill. And that was the first exercise, lip trill. That is, now let's do it with pitch. No structured pitch. What I'm going to ask you to do, and you can keep your microphones off. This is just for fun. And let's just try doing that a few times with pitch. Go from the low range to the high range and just kind of keep going until you run out of breath. It is muting my sound. Maybe if I go like this. You still can't hear me? No? Can you guys hear me? Yes? Yeah? Yeah, it's maybe turn on your original sound. I will test this, you guys, before the next time we meet, just so we don't take time today. Sorry about that. But again, I want you to just have this sense that you can make the sound with the lip trill. Now, try for me on the rolled R. I find that it helps me to do it with a smile. In other words, I could not do rolled R like, I guess I could, but it's a little weird. I find that if I sort of smile, it's easier. Yeah. Now let's try the third one. The crazy one, both combined. Okay, I'm gonna take a break right here. Can somebody tell me, I wanna hear from you. Which of the three is the easiest? Which of the three is the hardest? What do you think? Getha, and then Tiara. I saw your hand. Yeah, let's go to Getha and then Tiara.
Yes, for me personally, the hardest one is the both.
Yeah.
The combination between the both lips and tongue, lip trill and rolled R. The easiest for me is the lip trill.
The lip trill. Okay. And when you're doing the combined, the third exercise, let's call it number 3, are you able to do it or are you not able to do it?
I can do that, but like in a short
yes
time.
And that's exactly right. When I first got that exercise from my teacher, I could not do it. I had to practice like for a good 2-3 weeks just to be able to start to do it. And then slowly it came. So guys, I don't expect you to get this on the first time. It's a really hard one. Tiara, tell me, how does this feel for you?
So I actually really like the R's. That's the easiest for me to go.
Yeah.
And then the both of them at the same time. And then the hardest for me is actually the lip trills, but I think that's because I have like jaw issues. So I have a really big overbite. So my lips don't actually come together at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe I have big lips, I don't know. So it just stops after a little while.
Everybody's physiology is different. That's the thing. And so there's no right or wrong. And I think let's think about a couple principles here. Number 1, you never see your instrument as a singer. You never see it, right? Pianist, you see it. Violinist, any instrument, you're able to say, oh, move your finger this way, change this position. With singing, we never see our instrument. So it's entirely based on sensations. And that is why the mirror can help you. Because at least in the mirror, you can see some things, but you'll never actually see the larynx, right? Secondly, this is why it's really hard to teach singing, because I can only give you some tips, but then you're the one who has to like understand, oh, that doesn't feel good or that does. Now for jaw tension, I'm really glad you brought that issue up. We're going to talk, I suffer a lot with jaw tension and how to sort of do that. There are definitely some good massages that we can do. Thank you for bringing that up because I will definitely cover that. Let's hear from some more. I would like to just, this is really good feedback for me also. And then I promise you we will take a short break so everyone can have a bathroom break and get something to drink. Michello, please forgive me for mispronouncing.
It's all right. You can call me Mitch for short.
Mitch. Okay. Hey, Mitch, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Yeah, basically, it's almost the same thing like Tiara too. Basically, the easiest one for me is actually the roll R. Maybe because I'm used to it. Actually, I almost can do both of them, which is the lip throw and the roll R. But maybe because I'm used to focusing on the roll R, that I tend to lose more on my lip thrill. So I think because I focus more on that one, I tend to lose the lip thrill a lot. But yeah, the combined one was actually very challenging because I just learned this right now. So I tried to combine them both. But yeah, same thing like Tiara too. The jawline actually needs to be more like relaxed from that point of view.
Cool. So we're going to work on this. And guys, thank you for giving me the feedback also, because then, as I said, normally I would work, in person one-on-one and we will do all this. When we inaugurated this triple threat, I said, let's all do it together. Like, let's just come on in and combine. So this is how we're going to learn to work with each other. But these exercises that I give you every week, I don't expect you to get it right away. We will meet again next week. And so then you have a week to practice. I do expect you to practice. Otherwise, that's the key. It's like, if you don't practice, you're not going to ever get it. But, you know, every day, 15, 20 minutes practicing this, I promise you, you will get it. Now, Mitch, to your point, one thing I found really helped me is putting my hands on my cheeks and just going. You can also do it with the fingers. Even press a little bit, it might help you. Yeah, if you push it down just a little bit, not too much force, it's gonna really kind of help with the air. So that's a good way to try it, yeah? Karen, you have a question too?
For me, no, I don't think I have a question. I think I was able to do the both really easily because I'm used to lip trills, but I can't at all do the world R. Again, I have a list, like since I was a child, I can never like do it even in Bahasa Indonesia. Usually every single R is a world R and I have a list, so I can't say it. Yeah.
It's okay, it's okay. You know, I'm Mexican, my mother is Mexican, I have the passport, and in Spanish, everything is rolled R, and I also couldn't do it for a long time. I'll give you a few exercises for your tongue, just to, this might help, it might help somebody else. But guys, forgive me because this looks really gross. I also do this exercise every day. It's called tongue stretches. So I can't really speak and do it. I'm just going to demonstrate. First, I put my tongue out and stretch, then to the side, then to the other side, then up. Each stretch should be held for 10 to 20 seconds. So I'll do a very quick version here. Then, yeah. Now, when I do those exercises, it hurts a little bit. Like my tongue has got a lot of tension. And so the more I can loosen my tongue, the easier it is for me to do the rolled R. Let's practice that again, everybody together, and then let's try the rolled R. So down, side, side, up. And we'll hold each of these for about 5 seconds. I'll count it out. Ready? 1, 2, well, we'll do 8. 8 is a better count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And last. Now, I know, I'm sorry, it's very gross, but that's what's going to help to relax. Now try for me. Remember that chewing exercise we did? And move your tongue around inside of your mouth. And now, did anybody find it easier? Yeah? Was it easier? I think it helps because actually once your tongue is a little bit stretched and loosened, it should help you to do the R's. Good, yeah. So if you're having trouble with the rolled R, try doing some tongue stretches. You don't have to do all 4 of them, but especially I think the sides is really helpful. Yeah, cool. Natalia and then Christy, and then I promise we'll take the break. Natalia, please.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
Okay, nice to meet you. I have several questions. So
Yeah.
You teach us about the combination about the lip trill and roll R. So I practice that, but does it only make your lower lip move? My higher lip like doesn't move.
No, the upper lip should move.
Okay. So I roll.
Well, if I had a stiff lip, it wouldn't do it. It won't work. Maybe your upper lip is not moving as much, but if you're doing it, it means both lips should be moving. Can you show me? Can you come to the camera and show me? You don't have to pick. Okay. You're talking about for the combined one. For combined.
Yes, the roll R and the lip trill.
You're right. The upper one won't move as much, but it's still loose. Yeah. But for the lip trill, it should move.
Let's move. Oh, yes.
Yeah. You're doing it right. Keep practicing it, but I think you're doing it right.
Okay, thank you.
Good job. Yeah. Christy, and then we're going to take a break.
Okay, thank you for letting me in. Oh yeah, Carla, I have a question for you. Like actually it's more likely about the SWOT.
SWOT. Yeah,
the SWOT thing. I think one of my weakness is that I lack of uh I lack of like the confidence to speak loudly. So yeah, sometimes I kind of like blabber or muttering things out. That's why I think if we do this most of the time, maybe like more than once or more than twice a day, I think will it help me to like speak more clearly, perhaps?
I think I understand. You mean the vocal exercises? Will they help you with general speech?
Yeah, you're right. Because I think it's quite difficult for me to speak in a quick pace. So yeah, in the when I have to sing in a quick tempo, I kind of like missing things out. Even if my one of my core strength is that I am a choir singer. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with music notes and the pitch. But then when I have to talk in a faster tempo, I kind of like stutter. So yeah, probably is there any practice for this?
Absolutely. And this is entirely going to relate to articulators. The more work we do with the lip and the tongue. Do you remember, you guys, that's we talked about the breathing, we talked about the larynx, and then we talk about articulators. And so the lip trill, the rolled R, these exercises we're doing are articulator exercises. And trust me, we're going to do so many articulator exercises. It definitely should help, Kirsty. And if you have other questions as we go, let me know and I can give you extra exercises too.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, thank you. And Sarah, I will take your question for sure, but just let's take a break because I promised everybody. Guys, why don't we take Ipang, why don't you let me know? Should we take 5 or 10 minutes? What's a good time? 5? Okay, 5. Yeah. So we will meet back here at, I guess it would be 8:10 your time, something like this. Yeah, okay, guys. Enjoy your break. Hi, everyone. It's nice to have a little break, right?
Yep.
Singing can be very intense, and it's also an emotional process, because as much as we are using our mind and our intention, we're using our bodies, and of course we're using our heart and our soul, and it is important to take some breaks and to have this reflection. I want to just bring attention to a note here in the chat. If you can, please fill out the attendance form. That would be great. And Sarah, I want to take your question, please, or your comment.
Okay, I just want to ask about the exercise that we do. That I actually cannot do the third one, which was the lip trill and the R sound. It's when I do that, it's like I'm just like sticking my tongue out like this. I cannot really do that.
So it takes time to practice, guys. Like I said, I couldn't do it when I first had it. It's basically, you want to very loosely put your tongue out. I hate to use this term, but my teacher told me, pretend your tongue is fat. Like pretend that it's just a heavy tongue. Then put your lips around it. And then just start with little sounds like this.
I'm not even near to it. It's just me like sticking out my tongue.
So another issue could be that you're blowing too much air.
Oh.
Try just putting the tongue out and just going a tiny bit of air.
It's hard.
Can any of you guys do this, for instance? Try just really loose. Good. Doesn't even have to have sound. I hear your pitch, right? Then try putting your tongue out.
Okay.
But that's a start. That is the start. So just practice it really, really slowly. And honestly, I don't expect you to get the third one. I just wanted you to have the third one as an option. But I do think for all of us, it's important to be able to do number 1 or number 2. Yeah. Great. Oh, that's my husband. All right. Well, remember that I told you about my book, and I want all of you to have a book. This is my book. It's bye. Sorry, I took my background off now. This is my book, and I really want to take a moment to share this with you. This is my hope for all of you. At the beginning, I have some photos of my dog, and then I have some of the entrepreneurial things that we're going to go over in the entrepreneurship workshop about making goals, about how to think of yourself. But I have literally hundreds of like exercises in here from every teacher just written out. So I really want this for you. Even some of them I took out of books like this. And I want you guys to be able to have the same kind of a book. Yeah, so that's really important. The other reason I brought this, and we'll be talking more about it, this is what vocal cords look like. How many of you have seen a picture of vocal cords online? Yeah, definitely. I encourage you to go to like YouTube and just check it out. This is what mine look like. I had a picture once at the doctor. So you can actually see it's the white part that makes the sound. They're connected at the bottom, like a V. And when you put the air, they vibrate. That V comes together and vibrates like this. Yeah. So I want you to, one of your homework assignments is just check out a video on YouTube so that you can see a little bit of how this works. But we did this in the class on Wednesday. Put your hand just here and try. just do a hum or you should be able to feel a vibration. That's where your vocal cords are. Yeah, cool, cool. So we're gonna go back to the breathing exercises. Oh boy, actually, forgive me for one moment. I need another prop. I will be right back. Practice the lip trills and the rolled R's. There's one other thing I need for this next exercise. Okay, thank you for your patience. Sorry, singing requires a lot of props. Now, I said we were going to be working on breathing, right? We've worked a little bit on breathing through the articulators. Your assignment for next week is to be able to do either the lip trill or the rolled R, or if you want, the third combined, for at least 10 seconds consistently. Now, I challenge you to increase your time. What do I mean by this? Let's say that I'm doing the lip trill. I would like you to be able to take a timer on your phone, you know, something like maybe, I think you all have something like a stopwatch, something like this, yeah? So I'll demonstrate. I'm going to take a breath. So roughly, I had about 14 seconds. Now, what I'm looking for is a steady stream of air, not I'm exaggerating, but do you see how that goes like big, little, big, little? I want really very steady. I'll do the same thing with the rolled R. Sorry, I'll start over, stop. I didn't take a very good breath, but yeah. So the same thing, and I want you to time yourself. Now, I'm gonna add a third layer, right? So time yourself, rolled R, lip trill, or if you want the combined one. That's the first homework assignment. Second assignment, we're gonna start to practice on just a hiss. It's like this. Right? So it's just like a hissing sound. Again, no pitch. Should not be like something really hard, but let's all practice this. So it's going to be, how can we go for a long time? Take a big breath and then yeah? How many of you have done this before? Yeah, I think some of you have done it before. So your second homework assignment is to do exactly this exercise and time yourself. This might be easier for you than the lip trills or the rolled R's. Should be, again, the main thing is going to be steady breath, not yeah, right? Like really consistent. sorry, I will start over. Let's try it together. 3, 2, 1. So yeah, barely 25, 26, something like that. Yeah, you're in 20s. Good, 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 good. So this is your homework, is to practice it. Now, I think you will find that the hissing exercise is easier than the articulator exercises. Yeah, does anybody find the hissing exercises more difficult? Probably not. Yeah, wow, wow, Verity, that's fantastic, fantastic. So you now have articulators, you now have the hissing. Here's a very old opera technique for this. This is called the candle exercise. Take a match. I'm going to do it with the candle here. Can you see this? Actually, yeah. Now, this exercise is intended for me to blow the air to the flame without putting the flame out. So I'll do it first with the match because I think you'll be able to see it better on the Zoom. This is a very, very old opera exercise to make your breathing really long. See, I didn't do it good. You want to blow the air to the flame so that the flame flickers, but you do not want the flame to go out. This means that the air has to be consistent, but if you put too much air, the flame will go out. So I can try with the candle, but I don't know that you'll see it very well. Does it make sense to you, this exercise? So the idea, there's no sound, there's no hissing, but you have to be able to see that you're making the flame dance. It doesn't go out. Yeah, it's the consistency of breathing. Excellent. That's exactly right. So it is about doing it softly. Another way to practice this, I'm giving you a lot of options, is to put a piece of paper here. If you have like a little piece of paper, you can try now. And you just want to be able to try to get it to go consistently and smoothly. Can you feel the pressure of the air on the paper? Yeah? Keep trying. I want you to tell me what that feeling is like for you. Can somebody describe it? Anyone want to describe it? Yeah, Tiara.
I mean, it almost it takes everything out of you, like from your diaphragm and your lower abs. But at the same time, like I'm not actually blowing that much air, but it takes so much pressure from your body. And it's weird because you can feel the resistance of the paper.
That's exactly right. You want to feel that resistance, right? That's so key. Alicia, is that right? Yeah. And then Diane.
Alicia.
Yeah. Hi, Alicia.
Hi. For me, you can call me Alex too, if that's easier. So it does feel like I think I've done this a lot as a kid, but this really refreshes my memories. It brings up a lot of nostalgia. It feels like my stomach is a deflating balloon. Yeah, but also, yeah, just like Tiara said, a lot of I feel like a lot of my throat muscle is working. I don't know a lot of the terminology for this, but like lip muscle as well, it tenses it up and I think it limbers the muscle up. So great exercise. Yeah.
No, that's great. And the more we do it, I'm going to start to incorporate more of this diaphragmatic breathing. But right now, I want you guys to just create an awareness of what's happening. That's excellent. And Diane.
Yeah, Diane. Yes. I just want to ask, just the hoof or
it just the air. Actually, you need no tone.
No.
So just the air. And for the hissing,
yeah.
It's really just like if you're saying the letter S.
The last one is when you blow the candle and then
no sound at all. Just
no, because
just be the air.
Yeah.
You can also practice just put your finger in front of your mouth, maybe 2-3 inches, and just blow, and you should feel that air.
Also, we blow it. No, not that.
Yeah, no, blowing the air. Like if you were gonna blow a balloon, but when we blow the balloon, we tend to put a lot of air. This is a little bit of air.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
great. No, this is really great. Okay, I want to give you guys 2 more exercises. Is everyone exhausted? Are we still okay? It's a lot. I know 2 hours is a long time. Okay, you saw I have a dog. He is now left, but someone brought up, maybe it was Alex, about the control, right? So we're going to start to talk about this more, but we're talking about the lung from the air, the air from the lungs coming through and making this air outward. I now want to talk about how do you engage the diaphragm? How do you engage like these muscles? So we're going to do an exercise. Forgive me, I guess I got to step back even more. And I want you to you can stand up for this if you're comfortable. Put a hand here and maybe a hand here. And I want you to try this exercise, which is, my dog does this a lot, right? It's going to be like this. Right? So again, maybe I'm going to scoot up just so you can see me. I'm going to have to do it sitting. Try for me just this sound. Can you do that? Looks like you can do it. Now, first, let's slow it down slowly. Like if you were running and you were like running and then you're really tired. And what you should feel here is like in, out. Kind of like staccato, that's a good point. But it's really the air. Can you feel that? Do you feel that? Great. So I want you to speed that up so that it goes like this. Now let's do a little competition. Ready? Who can do this the longest? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Did that make anybody tired?
No.
Who's tired? And now let me ask you, for instance, I see Patricia. Patricia, where are you tired? What part of your body felt tired?
It's more in the like upper chest, like here.
Down here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right here. Yeah. Did everyone else feel kind of like their stomach muscles maybe a little bit were tired? What did it feel like? I'm seeing Roanna. Yeah.
Yes, it's in here.
Yeah.
And here it feels tired, and I can feel the muscle. It's like what is it in English? I don't know. But it feels yeah, it's tired. It's just like tired and lose of strength.
It feels like a workout, right? I mean, I'm seeing some of you in the chat, but like my abs are more engaged and my mouth is dry. Mouth being dry is totally normal because you're putting so much air there, but the abs should feel like tired. Let's do it one more time and put your hands on your abs and feel what's happening. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. So who else wants to comment on how that felt? The diaphragm muscle is at work. That's exactly right. Marwa.
Hi.
Hi.
This was a really great exercise. And to me, it really worked out my core and it built my strength. And I think that's a really important component for like breathing exercises and to just like strengthen your breath. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. This is a really important exercise, and we are going to connect this to staccato. I saw someone mention that, but this exercise immediately makes you engage your diaphragm. And it is hard, but that is where that strength comes from for the long breath. Now, I want you to think about the hissing exercise we did. And I want you to do the same thing. We'll slow it down. And on me, I'm feeling here. So these, I'm exaggerating that movement from before. I want you to feel how that connects there. Yeah, let's everybody try to do that and just try to connect it right here. Yeah, let's try it one more time. Do you feel that connection with the breath there? The hissing should be outward. In other words, we're not taking, that would be an inward. This is, yeah. It can be exhausting for sure. Like this can get you tired, but these are the muscles that I want you to start to work, these diaphragmatic muscles. Does anybody have any questions? I know this is a lot and I'm doing it like virtually, but you know, I think that you're understanding this. Yeah, let's go to Faris. Faris? Yeah.
Yeah. So when I did the dog breathing,
yeah,
I would eventually run out of breath, right? But when I run out of breath, I feel like my chest, I feel it more in my chest rather than my stomach. So am I doing it wrong somehow, or like maybe my chest is getting more of a workout because I'm not doing it properly?
Well, okay, let's remember that your lungs are the ones taking in the air, and the diaphragm is what's giving you that support. So when you do run out of air, you will feel it in your chest. That's totally natural, but you should feel tired in your support in the diaphragm.
Okay. I didn't feel like my lower torso, let's say, I didn't feel like they were working out. I feel like I felt it more on the chest area.
Okay, make sure when you're doing it that you're not doing it up here. In other words, I should have demonstrated this. You don't want this to move. The movement comes from here. So it's very hard to probably see on Zoom, but the movement really should be here and not.
And the ribs move as well. The ribs.
Not so much. The ribs should stay out, but this part moves in and out. The ribs should sort of stay in that suspended surprise breath. And then I find for me, I feel it the most when I do the dog exercise quickly. Take the surprise breath. Then I really feel it in the front area here. Try that with me, guys. Do the surprise breath.
So it's the upper abdomen?
Yes.
Okay.
You should feel that that's like quivering almost. Like that's where the muscle is working.
So do you have any tips if I don't really feel it there?
What you could also do is try it lying down. Because when you're lying down, I think you will be able to notice this more. A third way to feel it, guys, I wanted to show you, I don't know if it'll be visible. You can try sitting down, go over, hug your knees like this, relax your neck, and then you should be able to feel this part against your legs.
Oh, okay.
So just try that. Even just taking a big breath. And you can also, if you put your hands back here, you can feel an expansion here. This is a really good way to try it. So,
but it's not your tummy. It's not your tummy, right?
It should be right in here. Like I'll bring some diaphragms the next time. If you feel your sternum, this is the bone, right? And it ends kind of here, and you can feel where your ribs are finishing. Yeah? That's where your diaphragm is. The diaphragm is a sort of a sheet muscle that connects at the bottom of your ribs. And so what you're doing here is flicking that diaphragm this way, which is why it goes kind of in and out. What's moving in and out are the internal organs that are here. So as the diaphragm goes like this, those organs pop in and out.
Okay.
Can I please show the rapid dog breathing while standing? Yes. I'll try to tighten my shirt. Now, if I exaggerate it, it's and that's again, that's the diaphragm. Is that visible to everybody? Can you see it? It's really, even I don't need to do I could just do it like, it's just like, sometimes I hate to use this analogy, but if my pants are too tight, if I ate too much and I'm trying to make my pants like fit, and then I like in, out, in, out, in, out. That's just for you to get used to the diaphragm and what the diaphragm muscle does. Does that make sense? It takes a while to understand this, guys. I don't expect you to get it right away. What I'm trying to do is give you some exercises for you to practice at home. Geta, go ahead.
Yep, I noticed that your stomach go inside instead of outside, outward and not inward. I'm guessing, I just have a question. Is there any difference between, I've heard between the Italian breathing technique and the German breathing technique, is that, do we still have that in the term of breathing exercise?
I'm not going to focus so much on like Italian or German. I think there's one kind of, well, yeah, it's a tricky question. The way I'm looking at it is I am not suggesting that you push anything out. Like this is like the normal way for me. I'm not pushing or pulling anything. But when I do the breathing, something goes in, out. All I want you to do right now is to be able to feel the muscle that goes in and out. Just practice feeling that muscle. I'm so sorry. Today they needed the key, so I will be right back, but practice this muscle. Does that make sense? It's not, I'm never pushing something out. Like I'm just like, this is natural, normal me. And then I'm pulling in, release, pull in, release, pull in, release. It's kind of more of a pull in and then a release. Oh. Sorry, my dog is really crazy. Okay. Any other questions? Rowana, yes. And then Natalia, and then Karen. Go ahead.
Okay. Can I ask a question about? Sorry, back to the first to the previous one about the R and the lip throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask because it's lots easier for me to do the lip throw, but do it in a long time, then I get my throat. I get sore. My throat is sore, and then I feel dry. But when I do it the R or the double, I don't feel it. I don't know, but it is lots easier for me to do the lip throw. That's the first question, and then the second question, if I may ask.
Yeah.
I ever got changed to sing a song with the high notes, and then it's like forte, and then going to pianissimo and then forte again. What kind of breath exercise that could help us to do that, to do better, to sing that kind of song? Thank you.
Okay, those are great questions. I guess before I answer that, I'm getting some requests to see Grizzly. Grizzly, come here. Calm down. Do you want to come? Come, cookies. Come here. What is it? Come. Do you want a treat? They want to see you. Come on. Okay. This is Grizzly. Sit. Are you a good boy? Huh? Are you a good boy? Do you want a cookie? Give him a kiss. Good boy. All right. He's a good boy. To answer your questions, first of all, it definitely takes time to do the rolled R. The goal here for you is to practice the one that you're good at, if it's the lip trill or the rolled R, and then to interject them. So I wanted to do this exercise with everybody. I have this like old little keyboard here. It's nothing fancy. The way we'll start to do this more at the next session, but for today, I'm going to give you this exercise also. You can do something like, I'll start with the lip trill. Then and alternate. Exactly. So you're alternating between the two, I wouldn't call them techniques, but the two exercises, right? And that should make it so that you start to understand you know, how to take the things that you're good at and translate them to the one that's not so easy. For your question about how to do the breathing with that's a big question. And what I would encourage you is bring the song in when we do the sectional exercises, and I'll be able to help you with that more. But it's always the same question of breathing, right? And how to sustain that breath. To go back to this exercise here, I'm giving you guys a lot more advanced than I thought we would do in one day, but I started just with a triad 1 3 5 3 1, but you can add, and this is generally how I do it, is an octave, an arpeggio. So so that you're doing a full octave, and even go to 2. Because that's just going to increase the time of your breathing. And it's a way for you to increase or elongate your breath capacity, right? 1 3 5 3 1 is easy, and it's quick and it's short. So if it's already feels easy for you, go to the arpeggio. Yeah, cool. Natalia, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I have more question. I have one more question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. I try to practice the hissing diaphragm. Wait. So yes, the hissing, but I don't feel it is move. But when I try to practice the dog breathing, it is move.
Yeah.
So I
okay.
will. How can it move? Well, I'll try. It doesn't move. Can you tell me how?
Yeah, so first I would practice the dog breathing slowly, like we were doing. When I do that, this really moves for me. So that you're really isolating these muscles. Practice it slowly first, then a little faster, like. Right? So that you're starting to be able to do them faster. Now, when you do the hiss, it's not going to be a sudden movement. It's very slow. You should not feel a quick movement. It will be very slowly going inside. Yeah, does that make sense?
Oh, but when you do the hiss, it's like staccato.
I would practice it both ways. Practice it slowly, like a staccato, and then practice it quickly. So this would be like, that's the slow way, which is also like, just like, it's the same as the staccato, basically. But then I would practice it quickly. Because it's when you practice it quickly that you really feel the muscle burn. Like you feel that muscle working.
Oh, okay. Also, it's slowly move, right?
So do the slow and do the quick one. In the quick one, you should feel this get tired. If I do that for a long time, my muscle gets tired for sure. And in the slow one, you should be able to feel the isolation more because it's slower. You won't get tired as quickly.
Oh, okay, I got it.
You think, okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, of course. Anastasia, let's go. We'll go to Anastasia. I know, Karen, you have your hand up. I'll come to you. And also Haggai, is that correct?
Okay.
Go ahead, Anastasia. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you can call me Galuh. So I want to ask about the previous session about the combination breathing exercise. I'm doing okay with the roll R and also the with the lips, but for the combined breathing exercise, I'm wondering if I'm doing it right because I don't really feel my lips moved, and I feel the breath is soaking like floating. Sorry, like I got air from my mouth.
You have air in your mouth from
Yeah, and it's
the.
soaking like.
Can you show me?
Something like. Yeah, and
Yeah. Okay, so immediately I can tell you you're pushing too much air.
Okay.
Has to be a lot less air. Your tongue, can you do the rolled R?
Yeah.
Great, beautiful. Can you do? Okay. So really try to have less air and do. I would recommend, can you put your tongue out more? Without any tone, just do.
Sorry.
It's okay. All this is practice. You just need to practice it. Your tongue right now, when you put it out, is tense. It's a little bit tight. So try to relax it. You're getting there. You're getting there. Exactly. Just practice that. Practice it over and over. Make sure your tongue is really, really relaxed.
Okay.
It's coming. You just practice it slowly. You'll get it. Yeah, you're getting it.
I don't feel like my lips are moving at all.
It should feel like just completely numb. Like you're not doing.
Okay. I think I'm doing it right.
This takes practice. You just practice it every day. Yeah. Let's go to Hagai's question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Carla.
Hi, how are you?
I'm sorry if my video is lagging because of my internet connection. Okay, there's some issue in my condition, Carla, that especially in my singing, I am burping a lot.
Okay.
Is this a condition of medical condition, or my breath control is must be practiced a lot?
It's a great question. I think probably what's going on is you might have some acid reflux. Burping is usually a result of acid reflux. And because when we move the diaphragm, as I mentioned, when you're moving the diaphragm, the internal muscles start to push in and out. And that's like the stomach. So if you have some acid there, it agitates the acid, and that's when you start to burp. So I would you must have something like omeprazole, something like that. This is the medication. Let me write it here. In general, and this is a really good question, it ties to health. So generally speaking, it's said like for singers, we should avoid spicy food or sometimes like alcohol or milk. Now, you don't need to avoid everything, but definitely acid reflux can be triggered by like some spicy food or something like that. GERD, yeah. So you can try Pepto-Bismol, it's not bad, but I would recommend taking omeprazole. Omeprazole is the medicine. It comes in different brands. Sometimes you might see it like Pepcid AC or I forget the names of them in America, but the medical element is omeprazole. And generally speaking, you want to take it before food. Like I take mine maybe an hour before I have food in the morning. The other big one is coffee. Coffee or caffeine can really irritate this GERD. And I love coffee, so it's very difficult for me. But so try to take this medicine and you should see a big difference.
So it's a medical condition, yeah, Carla?
I think so. I mean, most of the time the burping is a result of acid. I'm not a doctor. I mean, I can't say for sure, but with singers, we generally say, like, if you have this burping, then you should try to take the omeprazole because it's usually caused by that acid reflux.
And with the breath exercise, can we control our burp when we are singing, or and in our
it's hard to control burping because like your body will have to do it, you know, but that's why I recommend taking the medicine. And if you don't want to take the medicine, then you should definitely, the alternative is to really watch your diet, like no coffee, no alcohol, no spicy foods, like nothing that would irritate the stomach, basically. So, I mean, it's, if you prefer to do that, that's fine. I find it, for me, it's just easier to take the medicine.
Okay, thank you, Carla.
Of course, of course. And Karen, hi.
Hello. For my question, I think it relates to Rohana's question. I've been warming up with a straw for like a while, and it really helped with keeping my range while still maintaining breath. What do you think of it?
I think the straw is great. I was going to introduce that in a later class. I definitely think there's a lot that can be gained from straws. There's a lot that can be gained from all of these tips, guys. The tips are just here to help you to feel the sensation, because we have to remember, when we go on stage, you can't bring a straw with you, or I can't bring, you know, the candles with me, or any of these tips or tricks. So these are really good tools for practicing until you get the muscle memory. But I also encourage you not to like rely on the straw entirely, because the goal is for you to get on stage and be able to do that thing that you're working on with the tips. So definitely the straw can be great, and we will work with the straw.
Okay.
I'm glad you know about it. Yeah. And Benita, go ahead.
Hello, I'm sorry if my connection here is pretty bad. I hope you can hear my voice.
Yeah.
Is there any tips? Maybe it's pretty unrelated to the breathing exercise, but sometimes when I'm singing or talking, my saliva kind of fill out my mouth. Is there any advice to overcome that? And so we can avoid any or any spurting or any.
Yeah, it's, I mean, this is the reality of being like a singer, and everybody is different. There are certain things that will be drying, like actually a lot of people have the opposite problem of you. They have more dry mouth, like, and that can be really hard. I would say that generally, if you do have a lot of spit, you want to be aware, is there phlegm or is it just spit? If there's phlegm, it could also be a sign of acid reflux. If it's really just spit, you might want to increase like your intake of water just to sort of dilute it, and usually that will help. I would also be curious, like, do you drink a lot of carbonated beverages or mostly like pure liquid beverages? Because sometimes the carbonated beverages can also bring that up. The main question there would be, is it phlegm type of spit, or is it really just lubricant? Most of the time, if it's just lubricant, it should kind of control itself. It's maybe more of a medical question. I to be honest, most of the time, the people that I talk to, they don't feel that they have enough. Like there's a dry mouth kind of situation. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It probably just acid reflux.
Yeah, I would try. I mean, do you drink a lot of coffee or caffeinated beverages, like soda beverages?
Same as you, coffee especially.
Yeah,
because
maybe try the omeprazole.
Yeah.
think we
Because we
have
need
our
to make ourselves awake while performing.
yes. Trust me, I know that. Yeah, I would definitely like just try the omeprazole, and everybody has to find what works well for them. You know, it's a balance act. Some people really recommend apples. I saw in the chat also this idea of drinking lemon water. Lemon water is great. It's really, really great. But this has to do with like acidity and just finding your balance. And I would just think, you know, in general, the acid reflux gets very quickly solved with omeprazole. So it's that, or Gaviscon is another one. I don't know if you guys have Gaviscon there. Gaviscon can be very, very effective too. Yeah, lemon water, Gaviscon, omeprazole. These are all good tips. Cool. Oh my gosh, the time flies by with this. Yeah, this is very fast. Guys, I think we covered a lot of ground. Your homework is to practice the lip trills, the rolled R's, and if you want the combination, I want you to start to try to do it with arpeggios or trios, like the 1 3 5 3 1, the way that we did. Also practice the hissing exercise and time yourself to see how long you can go for on that hiss. Yeah. I remain like totally at your disposal. I put my email here. You can reach me on Instagram, Carla Canales Music, and I will see at least some of you tomorrow for when we start to work on the songs. So thank you for such a great session. You were wonderful and so interactive. I really appreciate it. And I guess, Tria, do you have a quick question? Because I know we're over the time.
Yeah, just one quick one. I'm just curious about lip trill and the rolling of R. Some people find rolling of R sound is it's easier for them instead of lip trill. Is it because of their breath control, the diaphragm control? Is that
it really has more to do with like your articulators. So for some people, it's easier for them to have a loose lip. And then for other people, it's easier for them to have a looser tongue. It's just about where do you hold the tension. So the air should be the same no matter what. It's just what do you tend to tense and what do you need to work on loosening?
Oh, okay. Next.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Of course. Guys, thank you so much for a great session. Vincentia, get well. It looks like you're sick. Please get well, get healthy, stay healthy, and I will see you tomorrow. Great. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Carla.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.